In this presentation, we will generate, analyze, print, and export to Excel a sales by product or item report within QuickBooks Online. For more accounting information and accounting courses, visit our website at accountinginstruction.info. Here is our test file, Craig's Design and Landscaping. We're going to go to the left side to the reports. We want to be on the Standard tab. If we scroll down to the reports, in the favorite reports, we're probably going to have the balance sheet and the profit and loss. We may not have the sales by product report. Remember that the sales by product report will be a part or a component of or detail related to the profit and loss report. So we're actually going to go back up here to the profit and loss report, but just note where the sales by product report will be. Also note that you can expand these items, all the categories. So if we're not going to look at the business overview, so I'm going to unexpand it. We're not going to go into the who owes you. We want to be in the sales and customers. This is where the sales by item report will be. Remember that sales is kind of another term that we're going to have for revenue or income. So if you scroll through here, we have the sales by customer, sales by customer. We want the sales by product. These are where we will be. Before we go into that report, however, we're going to scroll back up and take a look at the income statement, remembering that all these reports we're looking at really are going to be some substitute to the major financial statements, this one being a component of the profit and loss report. So let's take a look at that profit and loss report and see how it will relate to the sales report that we will be looking at. We want to scroll up top and change the dates to 01/01/18 to 12/31/18. That's January through December and 2018. Then we will go ahead and run that report. So here we have that information. If we scroll down, then we're going to say total sales is 10,200. What we're trying to do now is take this total sale. These are the accounts we charge to. We don't want to see it by account. We want to see it by items or products, the things we do or the things we sell. We either sell inventory or we do services or some combination between the two. We want to see this broken out to those things, the things that we do, and that's what we're looking for here. So it's going to be just a variant on the income number. It should add up to the same income number if everything works out well. Of course, there are some funny things that could happen, so it might be off a little bit, and we'll discuss a few of those things once we generate the report. So let's go back to the reports then and go to the report we really want to see this time, the one we've been waiting for. We're going to have the reports on the left side. We're going to scroll down once again to the sales item. Also note that you could search for the report. Another way that it could be found, we want to search for the sales by product. We're looking for the summary. So we want to look at the summary this time. Sales by product / service summary. So we will select that. Note that if you're using the desktop version, it might be just called a sales by item. And the desktop version, items are typically what we call service items, and the inventory items are things that drive what we sell. We'll take a look at those more closely. You'll get a better idea of them when we enter the items into the system, when we work through the problem in that format. So here's what we have. We're going to change the dates up top. We're going to change it from 01/01/18 to 12/31/18. That's January through December 2018. Then we will run that report. Here we have the report information we got up top. Remember that we have a range here, January through December. We need a beginning and ending date because this is going to be a performance type of statement. We then have our products and services and the sales related to them. Note that as we look through the products and services, these are the things we sell or the things that we do, the way we earn money. Either we sell things in order to earn money or we do things in order to earn money. We earn money at the completion of a task, some type of task, either the delivery of inventory possibly, completion of a job, or work that we're going to do, some performance of some task. It's in alphabetical order. We do have the subcategories. So we see the design subcategory for the design. Within fountains, we've got the subcategory. This may look a bit different. Well, it will look a bit different than other types of industries because here we have more of a job cost type of system, and therefore the setup of the products and services could differ than we might see in other areas. So we have a subcategory of landscaping, and then within there we've got the gardening, installation, and so on and so forth. Same with the sprinkling, with the sprinklers and the pest control. Also note the detail that we have. If we scroll down to the bottom, we'll see that 10,280. This is the amount that should match what's on the income statement. It's a little bit off, and we'll explain why in a bit, but also note that this is the main number we are looking for. We have the percentage of sales, and that's going to be the total of all this. So it's 10,280 divided by 10,280. We then have the quantity. This is the quantity that we sold. So of each item, the quantity that we sold. If we're talking about inventory items, like a pump here, we sold 4 of them, and the amount of sales price was 72. We also have the cost of goods sold, because these are items that we purchased and sold. This is what we would see in inventory type items. And the gross margin is going to be the sales minus the cost of goods sold. The gross profit percent is going to be the percentage of the gross margin over the sales price. So let's take a look at this. If we take the 72.75 minus the cost of goods sold of 20, that's going to give us the 52.75. If we take that 52.75 and divide it by the sales amount, the amount of sales, 72.75, that's going to give us, if we move the decimal 2 places over, 72.51. That's this 72.51% for the gross margin. Note, we're only going to see those where we have inventory items. If we're talking about design or something like that, we don't have any cost of goods sold because it's just a service item. So if we only had service items and we weren't a company that sold inventory, we wouldn't be dealing with these items over here. We can also change the sorting options up top. So we're currently on the default. If we change it to the total ascending order, we're now looking at the total amount. So if we look at the total amount, we are now in the ascending order for those total amounts, and we're given the ascending order in relation to the totals here. So the totals per group, per category. If we then take that and we look at the descending order, then we have the largest amounts up top. Maybe the best way to see it if we want to look at it in order of the amount, because now we see our most important amounts up top, the most significant amounts then up top. Remember that this total amount, this 10,280.05, should be the amount that's going to match what's on the profit and loss or income statement. And recall that this is a little bit off. It's a little bit different. You might ask, well, how can that be? Why would it be a little bit off? If we're talking about total sales, we must have either done services or we must have given inventory in order to get those sales. How can we have the sales by item, the sales by product and services be different than what's in the sales accounts on the profit and loss report? Well, it shouldn't be unless we posted something to a sales account that didn't have a product or service. For example, we might have had a journal entry. We might have made some kind of adjusting journal entry and posted something without directly to the sales account without having anything sold, without assigning it to a product or service. So this is possible to do. QuickBooks, unlike some other accounts where QuickBooks will require, such as the accounts receivable by customer or something like that, requires the customer every time you select the accounts receivable account. Not necessarily the case with sales. It's possible for us to post something to a sales account without assigning a product or service, and then these numbers would be different. But in theory, that shouldn't happen. Something kind of funny would happen if that's the case. We'll see that relationship more closely when we start to enter the data, when we start to build this stuff up. We'll see the relationship between these products and services, these items, as with the sales amounts. Next thing we want to do is some standard formatting we've seen in the past. We're going to remove the date and time stamp. So we're going to go up top, customize reports. We're going to go into header and footer. We're going to remove the date, time, and report basis and run that report. So now those are gone. We're going to do the other standard formatting we have seen in the past. We're going to customize report. We're going to remove the cents, no pennies. We're going to make it not negative, but bracketed numbers, and red for the bracketed numbers, and run that report. So now we have that information in there, red bracketed numbers. We shouldn't typically have, once again, red numbers. We shouldn't have negative sales numbers. Something funny is happening typically if we do, usually. So now we're going to print this report and export to Excel. So we'll go up top and we will print first. So we'll print this report. And we're going to use the Qt PDF printer as practice to do so. It looks like it all fits on a page, which is nice. We will then print this report. locating our file. It's on the desktop. We're going to go down to the Get Great Guitars and just practice putting this together, practice formatting our information into section 4, the section that we are on. I like to put my cursor right here and say this is what it's called. So it's going to be a sales by product slash, this items is shorter. Items is what is used on the desktop version, but this is probably more descriptive. So this is 12/31/18. They both have their pros and cons. I'm going to go ahead and copy this so that it'll be there when we do the export to Excel. We'll save this, and it doesn't like the dash. I can't use a dash. So no dash, don't use a dash, and save. I'm going to close this out. The next thing we might want to do is memorize this report. We didn't change the title, but we can practice memorizing this report because we did change the formatting of it if we're going to use this often. So we'll save the report. I'm going to keep the name. There wasn't much change to it. I'm going to put it into our report group that we have set up. If you want to take a look at how to do that, we would add the group and then save that. Let's see if it does save it. It says it's custom saved, custom report saved, which is nice. Let's go and check it out. We're going to go to the reports down below. We're going to go into our custom reports up top. Reports, here they are. If we expand that, we've got the compare sales by customer summary. And that's not the one I want. Let's go back to reports. And we want the sales by product service summary. That's the one we want. So here we have that. Now let's export this report. So we're going to go to the drop down. We're going to export to Excel. So we will export to Excel. It's going to open up down below. That's what we need. Here we have it. We're going to make sure it fits on a page. Go into the page layout. It does look like it's fitting on a page. Back to the normal view. Now we'll just go ahead and save this report. So we'll go to the File tab up top, Save As. We'll then browse to locate where we want to put it. So we'll use the Browse function, scrolling up to the desktop. We're going to go to Get Great Guitars, section 4. And I'm just going to paste what we had there, but we don't want the dash because it doesn't like the dash. And save. So there is that. Now we want to just practice. We've got two things that we've saved in this section now. We're going to practice putting this together so we can format it if we were to display this information for homework or for our client, for ourselves in the future, just to organize it so our desktop is not very messy for after a while so we can't find things. So we'll go into our Get Great Guitars file here, and we've saved it under section 4. And so now we have these two reports in Excel and PDF format. We're going to now try to put them on one report. Remember that if we were to give these 4 reports or just 2 of them to somebody else, we can attach all 4 of them, or we can go back a file, right-click, and zip the file so that we can attach just that zipped file. I can't do it right now because it's it's open. I have an open file, but we can attach that if everything was closed, or we can try to put it all on one document, which is nice. Another way that this can be done. So what we'll do to do that is I'm going to open up a fresh Excel workbook. We're going to open up the Excel workbook, a new Excel workbook, and we're going to put all section 4 information. This is the stuff that we need to report to someone, everything that's in section 4. So here we have our new workbook. Then we're going to go back into our prior file that we had. This is our workbook with the sales by product we just exported. We're going to select the entire form by clicking this triangle, or Control A, right click on the selected area and copy it. So we will copy that, minimize this information, put it up top in A1, right click and paste 1, 2, 3. And we can even go back if we like the format that I'm going to go back to the format that was used for the tab. If we want that entire tab, we can double click on that tab and say, well, I'm just going to copy that, right click and copy. And then we can go back to our tab and double click on it and right click and paste 1, 2, 3. So because they usually optimize the tab, it's a little long. We probably don't need it that long. We might want to put something shorter, but that's one way we can do it. Now we're going to add a new tab and we're going to put the other report. So here's a new tab. We just hit that plus button. Look at the other report we've done so far. Thus far, we have the sales by product, sales by customer. This one, sales by customer. That's the one we want. We'll do the same process. We're just going to take this information, going to highlight the entire thing, Control A or triangle up top, right click the selected area and copy. And then we're going to minimize, put our cursor in A1, make sure it's in A1 or we will have problems. I'll show you what happens. Right click and paste, and it says I don't have enough room because you're pasting the entire worksheet, and just so we can't do it. So we're going to go back just to A1. So we got the entire worksheet and paste. First one. There we have that. And then I'll copy the sheet name as we did in the past, because that seems like an easy way to do it. So then I'm going to just double click the sheet name, right click and copy. Go back to our report, double click and paste. So now we've got our two sheets on one tab. Going to save this just as section 4. So that's the file name. So we're going to file, save as, browse, put this to our desktop. We're going to put it into the GGG folder, section 4. And we're just going to call it section 4 reports or something like that. Section 4 reports. It's in section 4. So there we have that. And now if we wanted to give this to someone, just one document, one attachment. If we want to put these two attachments on a PDF file without two separate attachments, imagining what we'll do if we have a ton of attachments, we just go to the File tab up top. We go to the Print item. We're going to print it as a Qt PDF printer, meaning as a PDF, changing the sheet, not just one sheet, but the entire workbook. Now it's going to print this entire workbook, the two reports thus far, to a PDF file, which we can then attach, give to someone, nice and neat, nice and easy, impressive, even if they don't open it, which is nice. For more accounting information and accounting courses, visit our website at accountinginstruction.info.